It's very rare to hear a discussion like this. Fine. I would like to wrap up my speech with some recommendations, some humble recommendations from myself, which I would see as a good topic to look at for Macedonia. I have to stress I have relatively limited knowledge about the history of the market, and I was just discussing with a couple of the people about the market. But I see the other markets in CE. I see similar markets which are in similar market conditions, which are doing even worse, or if I would say, in the position of the market cap and trading volume. I see some successful markets in Central and Eastern Europe, and there is something which we theoretically, or which you theoretically could copy. The first point would be probably very surprising for myself. Spending all my life outside of the government services, being trader, trading basically on Wall Street, investment banker, I have to say, for exchange of this size, cooperation with the government is crucial. Look at the success stories in the last 5-10 years. What are the success stories in the capital markets? It's Poland, government. It's Brazil, very much government influence. It's China, very much government influence. And I can follow up. So it is very difficult, but it's very important to convince your government that they need capital market. They need it because in future, when the companies here would like to raise the capital, they would like to do it through the capital market. Your pension funds have to be invested mainly on the capital market. So it is important to have capital market. You don't have any country on OECD, maybe except Slovakia, where there is no functioning capital market. In Slovakia, especially a sad case, because they are our closest friends, and we spend hours and hours of discussing how to save the capital market in Slovakia or awake it. It's a very difficult thing when the government forget about capital market for some time. It's very difficult to wake it up afterwards. So it is very important to speak to the government and make them understand they need strong capital market because it's good for economy. Input it in some materials which they put together, hard nail it somewhere where they create their economical strategy. 2. I think of this size of the capital market, it's important to have a close cooperation, if not the ownership, of the center depository. There is no necessity of having 2 institutions in a small countries like us. We own the center depository in Czech Republic, and only after we merge it together, we save the cost on the system. Merging of 2 small companies doing basically the same thing, I know it's completely different, trading and settlement, but basically it's the same thing. It's developing local capital market. You don't have to have 2 institutions for that in our size of the market. Vertical silo is definitely a winning concept in smaller markets. And it's our experience. For example, in Slovakia, they did it as well. Some other markets in Western Europe traditionally have it split it, but I would say cooperation is important. And those who have vertical silo are slightly more successful. There have to be close relationship with the regulators. As a third point, the support of the capital market from the regulator is very important. Till the time we were fighting with SEC, it was very difficult to develop any new things, to bring new ideas. The SEC in Czech Republic was taken over by Czech National Bank. Also basically the same story like exchange and CSD. For a small market, why to have 2 institutions? Why to have a Securities Commission, Czech National Bank or National Bank, whatever? Merge it into one. save the cost. One institution supervising the whole market. Since we did that, we dramatically improved our communication with National Bank. And I have to say, although they are supervising us and supervising our members, and not always we have the same opinion on some topics, we are repeatedly sitting together, and the topic is how to develop Czech capital market. What we can do together with your regulator to develop it. How they should address some topics, pension reform, other things. You have to communicate with them. You have to be very friendly, because it's, again, small market. The worst thing you can do is fight inside that small market. Completely unnecessary and crazy fights. 4, you are in a lucky situation. You are not so far in the European Union. Lucky situation from the point of view of some regulation. You can cleverly filter some of the rules of European Union. And it's also about the topic number 1, topic number 3 I was speaking about the communication with the state and communication with the regulator. Sometimes in Czech Republic, our officials trying to make a mistake because they are trying to be very pro-European, that they receive a very good and warm reception in Brussels, and they are somehow forgetting, that they should also act in a favor of the local market. So they are implementing some rules even stricter than they should or they could, while other regulation, other markets where they more closely communicate with the market needs and with the market and listen to what the market needs, they are maybe less strict on some regulations. And I'm not saying that everything coming from Europe is bad. There are very good things coming from European Union. I don't want to be only negative. Look at the prospectus directive. Great thing. Great thing. With that, you can list anything you want anywhere in Europe with a very easy paperwork. Common passport, very good thing. But then there are very bad things. And you have a luxury to more decide what and when and how you will implement it. But you have to speak with the government, you have to speak with the regulator. 5, develop local market. It is important to have local asset managers, local retail brokers on your side. It is important that with such a size of the market, as well similar Czech Republic, you have to be on the one boat. They have to understand they live and die with the success of the exchange, of the depository of the market. You are living and dying with their success. International members don't save you. 6, privatizations. You still have to look at what is possible to be privatized. And I would say, in your case, as I was briefly looking at it, you have a perfect example here of one thing your government can do very easy, I would say. And it is your telecom. As I understood, the telecom is owned majority by Deutsche Telekom. You have in old Yugoslavia just perfect example how to handle the situation, and this is Croatian Telecom, the listing of the rest of the capital market. It's absolutely transparent. Actually, I am usually cheeky on the conferences and saying that the problem of the privatization through capital market is that it is transparent, because not always politicians want the things to be done transparent. They want some room for negotiation, if I would say it politely. Capital market have one single and big problem: it is tremendously transparent. So if there is a way how your government can immediately improve the situation of the capital market, do just the same thing like was done in Croatia with the telecom. List the rest. 7, I was slightly touching that, control the costs. I would say it is slightly problem of the topic of the regional mergers. You have to look at the market and environment, how to save the cost in the future. That creates the questions of the alliances, sharing one system, one IT technology, merging together as a vertical silo, center depository, clearing, whatever, trying to save as much cost as possible, especially on the IT side, either internally or first internally inside Macedonia, and then theoretically also externally by using the same system like the other exchanges in the region or elsewhere in Europe. Okay, that's all from my side now. I have quite tight schedule because I have to fly in a couple of hours, but I think if you have some question, if somebody wants to ask me something, I'm definitely ready to answer that now. There are no questions. Probably I was too long, or too bad, or too good. I don't know. So, thank you for listening to me. You really have a wonderful country. When I was here yesterday, that was probably the worst weather in whole Europe, and I was coming from Europe. I cannot believe my eyes, when I was watching that, in Prague at 25 degrees, it was 10 and raining, there was a snowing on the mountains, like, God, what is that? But today I woke up to the beautiful morning, so I'm really looking forward for the way back to the airport, that I will look around the countryside, and it's really beautiful around here. So thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you for inviting.